Quarterfinals are done, but how did the individuals and teams stack up globally against the rest of the world? We've got that breakdown this week on Inside the Leaderboard. Welcome back everyone to another edition of Inside the Leaderboard. I am Tommy Marquez, and although quarterfinals divvied up the competition based on continents, the end goal is the games, and that is a global competition. So for today, I've got a comparison of all of the top performers in each division in one giant leaderboard combining all the continents together that we are dubbing the Cross-Continental comparison, or the Triple C, or C cubed, whatever your fancy is. Using just the qualifiers for the semifinals, here are the top teams globally based on their performances in the quarters. Last week, we covered the two potential teams that could be the first podium finishers ever for Europe or Oceania. And here's why. Both Zeriola Training Culture and 6'4 Army Gold are in the mix at 4th and 7th place respectively, highlighting their general capacity. And now, the next big question is how will they perform at semifinals when team implements like the Worm could show up? Moving over to the individuals now, and before we show the top performers, I wanted to highlight a couple of stats that I found incredibly interesting, and I want to give props to my constituent Chad Schroeder for digging these up. If we compare the continental locations of the top 50 men and women this season with that of the 2018 cross-regional comparison that ranked the top performances from regionals that year, look at the change in numbers for the women's division. More upper echelon women continue to come from outside North America, and it has coincided with their dominance at the top of the sport as well. 9 of the last 10 games champions and 17 of the last 18 podium finishers have come from outside of North America, and those athletes are clearly effectively acting as global ambassadors for the next generation of talent. Switching gears now back to the top performers from the quarters and the CCC, using only the athletes moving on from semifinals, and there's some eyebrow raisers on both sides here. On the men's side, all 10 athletes come from North America, and all 3 Panchik brothers finished 8th or better, and 4 Canadians cracked the top 10 as well. On the women's side, Tia and Cara are in familiar spots, but teenage newcomers Mal O'Brien and Emma Carey both managed to make the top 10 overall, alongside athletes like Gabby Magala and Danny Spiegel, who have qualified for the games the past 2 years but are looking for that first taste of the top 10 overall. Spencer Panchik is an athlete that is inside the top 10 of the CCC and is also looking for his first berth to the CrossFit Games. And Spencer joins me now in the studio. Appreciate you taking the time to chat with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
So first things first, you finished top 10, you finished 8th overall in the cross-continental comparison when you stack all of the quarterfinal performances worldwide. When you hear that you finished that high, what stands out to you about your performance in the quarterfinals, and does that do anything for your confidence?
I wouldn't say anything stands out, especially competing with Saxon and Scott. Like, our goal is to always one-up each other, and I'd say just with one of us kind of setting a standard, we're always striving to one-up each other.
And so unfortunately, you won't get that opportunity in semifinals because we had the seating announced and all 3 of you guys are organized in different events. What was your reaction when you guys saw that, and what sort of plan have you guys formulated now that you won't be able to push each other on the competition floor for the first time?
Yeah, so that was actually, it wasn't that it was planned, but we each ended up picking which one we wanted to do separately, and then when we kind of talked about it, that was kind of the way it aligned. But really the reason that I picked the one that I picked was last year my season got cut short because of COVID, and I really want to be able to kind of pick up where I left off last year and finish the season strong. Yeah,
so you kind of touched on that, but was the West Coast your first pick? I'm always curious where the athletes kind of sorted which events towards the top of their list.
Yeah, so my picks were West Coast, Granite Games, MAC, and then the Atlas. So that was the order that I picked.
And so you're going to have 3 Panchiks on 3 different weekends. What would it mean for you to finally qualify for the CrossFit Games and potentially be able to do so with your 2 other brothers and have all 3 of you out there in Madison?
I mean, that would be a dream come true for all 3 of us to be at the CrossFit Games. And I think it's going to be an awesome story, just kind of seeing each week kind of shape out for each one of us. But I think it would really bring out like that sibling rivalry by the time the games come. So I think it's going to be really cool.
And if that happens, are we going to see maybe some side bets or something on placement at the CrossFit Games?
There's definitely going to be some side bets.
I love it. I love it. Well, best of luck. We hope to see all three of you guys qualify, and we'll be supporting you along the way. And thanks for taking the time to chat with me today.
Yeah, thanks, Tommy. I appreciate it.
That's going to do it for this edition of Inside the Leaderboard. You can catch Spencer and both of his other brothers throwing down at the semifinals. Action starts May 28th. If you want to support the cause and help out at the CrossFit Games, volunteer registration is open now. And of course, you can also get your tickets to the games if you just want to go as a fan. You can get those only at games.crossfit.com.